Okay, so hello everyone. In this video, we will cover session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. So in this video, we will discuss about functionalities of these layers, and then at last we will discuss the very important application layer protocols. So the first topic is session layer. Let's start with session layer. Session layer is the sixth layer in the OSI model from the bottom. Okay, now let's talk about what are the responsibilities of session layer. The first and very important responsibility is creating session. As the name suggests, session layer. So the very first important responsibility is creating session. So here we are first talking about session. Let's say this is my machine, my laptop. From my machine I am connecting with the server. If I am trying to connect to an online server with my machine, then my laptop or my mobile, let's say I am doing an online transaction, okay, on SBI or like PNB or any other bank. What will happen? The first is that from my machine a request will be sent to the server. Okay, from my machine a request will be sent to that server. The first responsibility of session layer is authentication. The creating session was the important responsibility, and the first responsibility here is authentication. Authentication means from my machine I am giving my username and passwords. Like generally we do the same thing whenever we log in into any website. So what is the use of username and password here? For authentication means we are making it check our identity. Okay, that identity of mine will go to the server, and server will check the identity, and then it will validate it, then it will respond with the permission to create a session. Okay, this is what will happen in that scenario. Now along with authentication comes authorization. Okay, the second responsibility is authorization. Authorization means set of privileges. I have to given the authentication, I have created session. Also creating a session means the login page or home page comes. That is what we call a session. Now when I have opened the login page, and after login home page has appeared. On that home page I have been given many privileges. Like if I want to make any online payment, online transaction, or add beneficiary, like I am doing all these works under authorization. Okay, those works have been already authorized to me. If you are going on any website or online server, it doesn't mean that you can access all the things. Okay, you can access only those things which have been authorized to you from that server. Okay, when you make your identity validate, only after that you will get the session, and that session helps you to do whatever work you want to do. Now this responsibility is called authorization. Okay, now the next responsibility is session restoration. Okay, which we call also checkpointing. We will understand it with the simple examples. Okay, sometimes in Mozilla Firefox, or like we can say in Google Chrome, we open many tabs, and suddenly if our system shuts down, then when we start the system there is an option of restoration. Okay, the tabs which you have opened earlier, you can open those tabs again just by clicking on the restoration option, and then all your tabs will be open again. Okay, this is called session restoration. Now this depends on company to company. Some companies keep your session already like created, like Gmail. If your system got shut down and you open your browser again, then there will be an option of restoration in top right side. As you click on that restoration, you will be automatically logged into Gmail. Now what I'm telling you here is that the session layer saves the state and values that were there at the time we were using the system. Okay, it uses session beans. The advantage of session beans is that if it saves the values that were there at that time, if I want to restore the session next time, I will simply restore the session and remain automatically logged in. Okay, but if you are using SBI online banking before and you were nearly completing your the transaction, you reached till the OTP, but within that time your system shut down. Okay, due to battery or power reasons, whatever. Okay, you quickly switch on the system, open browser, and click on restoration, but SBI website will not take you to the last phase, but you have to log in again, because that type of session has been discarded, has to be cancelled. So nobody can hijack that session. Okay, otherwise there will be security concerns. Okay, so many websites allows and many websites don't allows. Now in many companies you can restore session, in some you cannot restore session, but session layer provides you this functionality or facility that if you want to restore that session or want to simply discard the session next time, you can do that. After session restoration we have synchronization. This helps in webinars and web conferencing. What happens in webinar or web conferencing is we can say live TV. Okay, many people are sitting and communicating and chatting with each other. Sometimes lip sync problem can occur. The person is speaking something else but his lips are saying something else. Sometimes when we play movies, dialogues are coming after words, subtitles showing after the dialogue has been delivered. Okay, the problem here is synchronization. Session layer provides synchronization, which means audio or video are playing in sync. the time when audio is playing or video is playing, dialogue were being delivered at that time only. Okay, otherwise if dialogue are going forward and backward, then obviously there will be no enjoyment of watching movie and also no enjoyment while doing communication. So when one person in the webinar is speaking, then all others are listening to it. So session layer helps in flow control and synchronization. So one important point about session layer is that among the OSI layers we have discussed, session layer and presentation layer are those which are not provided by the operating system. The very important point: session layer and presentation layer are not provided by operating system. In code of operating system or kernel, coding of network layer, data link layer available. Like coding of application layer is available, but coding of session layer is not available. Presentation layer is not available. Providing session layer is not the responsibility of operating system. Okay, now whose responsibility is this? This is the responsibility of the application you are using. Whichever application you are using, it's the responsibility. Okay, now moving forward to presentation layer. The topic is presentation layer and its responsibilities. So the first and very important responsibility is code conversion. Code conversion means, let's say there are two machines, M1 and M2. M1 is using ASCII code, meaning some application which is running on M1 is based on ASCII code. There is another machine M2, and in M2 there is some application which is using the ASCII code. Now whenever we are sending the data from this machine to that particular application, it will send the data in ASCII format. Okay, when the data comes in ASCII format, how to convert that data into ASCII code? Because this machine is understanding ASCII code, for that we use the presentation layer. Same in this case. Okay, this is sending the data in ASCII code, and but this machine is understanding ASCII code. So how to convert ASCII code to ASCII code or ASCII code to ASCII code? The presentation layer is used. Okay, this is the major responsibility of presentation layer, to format the data. The application layer gets help from this, so that any data that is coming on application layer is already converted into the format in which the application want to read. Okay, so that the data is properly visible to user and can be read properly. So the second responsibility is encryption and decryption. The data a machine is sending to other machine, like I am taking the example of two machines, but there can be many machines because we are talking about internet. Okay, on internet if I'm sending some of my data there are a lot of vulnerabilities, lot of threats. Okay, to remove that I have to achieve confidentiality. Confidentiality means nobody should be able to read my data. Okay, you can keep all the security you want, there is still one or two loopholes that hackers can find. Those loopholes, your packets or your data could be hacked, but even after hacking your data, if he is not able to read that data, okay, he cannot get any advantage of it. How is it possible that he cannot read that data? If I send my data as plain text, the data that I have written, if I send that data, then obviously any person can simply read that data. But if I send it in the form of cipher text, then no one will be able to read that data. Okay, if I encrypt that data with a key, and then that data reaches the receiver with the same key, or it depends on the symmetric or asymmetric application, can decrypt it. Okay, we use encryption and decryption for security purposes. When we send the data during network transmission, and we can keep the password in our machine by encrypting them. This is the responsibility of presentation layer. Okay, now the third responsibility is compression. Okay, compression means sometimes many things, many bits are redundant in our data. Okay, we have also learned in our previous lectures. Okay, we can compress by removing those redundant values. Okay, like when we create zip files, the size of normal files is decreased a little, the empty space or the multiple values that are written, it removes them. It can also cause like problems. Loss can also happen when you unzip the file, you may have lost some data. So data compression is also the responsibility of presentation layer. These are the basic functionalities of presentation layer. Now the important part is that the coding of presentation layer is not the responsibility of operating system. Its code is not present in operating system. Okay, it is the responsibility of that application. Now we will discuss the application layer. The application layer, the topmost layer in the OSI model and the TCP/IP model. Okay, it provides the interface between application and the network. Okay, enabling communication, data exchange. This layer is directly accessible by end users and their applications, allowing them to interact with the network services and resources. Okay, the application layer provides the user interface for interacting with network services and application. It utilizes like various protocols like HTTP, FTP, SMTP, DNS, and extras, like thousands thousands of protocols are there in application layer. To facilitate specific communication tasks, the application layer handles data formatting, compression, and encryption to ensure proper data exchange. It initiates and terminates the communication process between application and the network. Okay, it acts as abstract layer, providing a simplified interface for application to access network. Now, examples of application layer protocols. Here I have the list of important protocols, their corresponding port numbers together with the transport protocol that they use. In application layer, we have thousand of protocol. You don't have to remember these thousand of protocols, but these important protocols, I'm saying important in terms of number of times question have come in the exams. Okay, now if we talk about any exam in computer science, NET, GATE, KVS, or any competitive exam or university level exam, in those exams maximum these protocols were asked. Even if you remember all these protocols names and their port number, it is more than enough. In transport layer, we only have two main transport protocols, TCP and UDP. TCP is called connection oriented and UDP is called connection less. Now let me explain these protocol one by one. So the first is echo protocol. Okay, we generally use echo protocol when client sends a server a request and server respond to that. This total time is called round trip time. Okay, to find this round trip time, we use echo protocol. Administration use echo protocol to find out if we are connected to the server or not. Echo protocol is used for TCP and as well as for UDP also. Okay, and its port number is 7. Now the second protocol is FTP, file transfer protocol. If you want to transfer files, we use FTP protocol. In this we have port numbers 20 and 21. Now you will say, how does two port numbers for one application, okay, for one protocol? FTP is an out of band protocol, meaning for data it uses port 20 and port 21 is used for commands. Okay, command controls. For sending all these commands we use port number 21, and to transfer data we use 20 port. It uses TCP because reliability is needed. Complete files should be transferred. Now the third protocol is SSH, secure shell. Okay, for SSH we have port number 22. We have SSH, like we use SSH where security is required. Okay, we use cryptographic function here. If client and server are connected, they are connected through secured key and by exchanging keys. Okay, a tunnel is formed using tunneling. Because of tunneling in unsecured channel like internet, we can make a private connection in public networks. Okay, SSH is used for security point of view and it uses TCP protocols. Okay, now the other protocol is telnet. Telnet is used for remote login for in applications. Okay, now its port number is 23 and TCP connection. Okay, now the other protocol is SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol. We use SMTP for mailing. Port number is 25 and it uses TCP connection. Okay, now other than this we have DNS, domain name system. Its port number is 53. It uses UDP. Okay, we use UDP protocol when we want speed. Okay, in DNS we have the domain name but we want the IP for that. To find server's IP we simply send a request. We want the fast result, consistent speed is required, so we use UDP protocol. Through like it can also use TCP, but generally UDP is used for by default. Now the other than this we have DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol. DHCP is used for like if dynamic IP is required. Okay, generally we use static IP in labs, computer labs, in colleges and universities, but if administration want to assign dynamic IP addresses, you can use DHCP protocol. You give your MAC address, a request is sent from your computer that my MAC address is this, I want an IP address. Okay, then dynamically from a list of IP addresses DHCP will provide an IP address. Okay, this is out of band, so we use two port numbers 67 and 68. It uses UDP because there is no need to establish connection, you want speed only. Okay, now other than this we have TFTP, trivial file transfer protocol. TFTP is used when clients want to send files to server without making any connection. Okay, it sends the file directly. Your data may like get lost, but if your application says there is no issue, then you use TFTP. FTP will first make connection using three-way handshaking. After that, it will transfer data. Okay, TFTP is fast. It uses UDP protocol and its port number is 69. Now, other than this, we have HTTP. Now, hypertext transfer protocol. This is very important. All your web pages, all your browsers, whenever you send a request to any application or server, through what this request is sent through HTTP protocol. Okay, all the web pages get transferred through HTTP protocol. It uses 80 number port and TCP connection. Now other than this we have POP, post office protocol. Post office protocol is generally used for retrieve mails. Okay, your mail has already come to the server, now you have to pop the mail to the system. we use SMTP to push the mail and POP to withdraw the mails. Okay, it has different version. Version 2 has a port number of 109, and but the latest version has port number 110. It uses TCP. Now other than this, we have NTP, network time protocol. There are multiple clients connected to the server. If they want to synchronize their time, their clocks, obviously if you are connected to a server, you want that time of server is synchronized with the time of your client's machine. Okay, to synchronize this clock, we use NTP. It uses port number 123. UDP protocol is used for NTP. And other than this, we have HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol secure. HTTP is very important because it is a secured version of HTTP. Nowadays you will find most application on HTTPS works on secured SSL, secured socket layer. Its work is same as that of secured shell. It uses cryptographic function. Okay, your request will not get sent directly, it will be sent after getting converted into ciphertext with authentication. Okay, your username password will be authenticated, then you will get a session. Okay, all the banking sites like PNB, SBI and payment like portal like Flipkart, Amazon automatically works on HTTPS. Okay, its port number is 443 and it uses TCP connection. Other than this, we have RIP protocol, routing information protocol. We have a dedicated video to RIP, so you can check that video also. Okay, we use routing information protocol for distance vector routing. In network layer, we use distance vector routing and link state routing. RIP is the actual implementable protocol for distance vector, and for link state we use OSPF protocol. RIP protocol uses 520 and UDP transfer protocol because it doesn't form any connection, it just sends its metric to its neighbors using broadcast concept. Okay, again I want to tell you that there are thousands of protocol, but these are the protocols on the which questions are asked in the exams. Okay, so this was whole concept about all the protocols, application layer, session layer and presentation layer. So that's it for this video. We will meet in next video. Until then, bye bye.